Live from Global Calgary, the Noon News Hour continues.
We have a couple of special guests joining us today talking about your finances. Please welcome Susan and Laura are both here today, and they have brought their book with them. It's Your Money, Honey. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I know I met you guys a couple of years ago, and you had a website, Golden Girl Finance, goldengirlfinance.ca.
Yeah.
And now it's grown into this.
It has.
Why a book specifically for women on finance?
You know what we found through the website, through creating that, women loved it. They loved the messaging. They loved the tone. We're changing up the voice of finance because the default voice of finance, it still seems to be male. Yeah. And, you know, it's often written by men for men. And so what we're finding is women of all ages were resonating so much with our web property that we said we have to kind of create a financial survival guide for women of all ages that they can just keep on hand, you know, help another friend out if they need a little bit of advice, if you will, and help them out throughout their creating their own financial legacy.
Now, Susan, how is this written for women?
Well, it's written for women because, well, we are women and
Right.
we're wives, we're mothers, and we understand a lot of the issues that women are going through. You know, whether that be marriage and motherhood and seeing what our own mothers are going through. So we very much relate to, you know, how busy we are, working, and all of those things. So we deal with all of those issues in the book.
Now, I know it's sort of written like, you know, a couple of ladies having a coffee or whatever. What are some of the biggest issues that women are facing when it comes to finances?
Well, I think first and foremost, some of the divorce rate is 54% in Canada. And that was very concerning to us because typically after a divorce, a woman will experience a 27% decrease in her standard of living, whereas a man will typically experience a 10% increase. So knowing those statistics, we felt very passionate that we needed to arm women with the information that they needed to put them in a position of financial strength.
And this is interesting because this book spans many ages.
Yeah, it really, the website is divided by age and the book's divided by life stage. So if you're planning for retirement, major purchases, you know, buying a home, having children, it's all sort of covered in there. So at any stage of your life, this could apply to you.
What do you think is probably one of the most important pieces of information? I know you have a lot in here. Let's start with you, Susan, specifically anything that you...
Well, we spend some time on saving, and I think, you know, as we've all in the last 10 years with the expansion of credit in the economy, we've been spending. And we want to bring a little sexy back to saving. We call it the new luxury. And we want to inspire Canadian women across the country to start saving and building a financial legacy for themselves.
What about you, Laura? Is there something that you feel really passionate about in this book that...
I think it's just get more engaged. Like start reading about what's happening in the stock market and investing terminology. You don't need to become an expert, but you need to start getting involved in the process, meeting with financial advisors, and start learning and start planning and building your own wealth.
It does seem a little intimidating, overwhelming, especially when you bring stock markets and that sort of thing in. How do you suggest somebody sort of start and get in without, you know, the fear?
Well, we talk in the book about investing in what you know, so that's a great place to start. And in any given day, we're interacting with a number of different publicly traded companies. We know what kind of service they offer. We know how good their products are. We know what our friends are saying about them. So start with the products you know, whether that's Starbucks or Apple or some of the things that you're really interested in. That's great preliminary market research, and then you can do your financial due diligence after that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. The book is called It's Your Money, Honey, A Girl's Guide to Saving, Investing, and Building Wealth at Every Age and Life Stage. Laura McDonald, Susan Meisner joining us this afternoon. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Well, some might say you can't buy much for $5, but you'd be surprised at what